You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, community members in southeast Kansas come together to support a mother with a rare form of cancer. Also, a fire chief has to decide if $250,000 is worth losing the trust of his community. And we've got a warm and windy day today. We do have an alert day tomorrow, carrying us into Wednesday. Latest on your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is just after 7 a.m. on this Tuesday. No, I've done it all morning, but that time I actually said it. Monday. It's been in my head. It's not Tuesday. It's Monday, March the 9th. I know why Tuesday's in my head, but we won't go there just right yet. But we do have the alert day tomorrow, which is something we have got to monitor as well across the area, which we will break down for you a little bit later. First, we got to get through our Monday, March the 9th, and it is going to be a warm and breezy day, starting with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where we have those clear skies. We'll get a few clouds here and there, so a mix of clouds and sun. Partly cloudy skies here and there, but not a bad day overall. KDOT camera 69400 looks good, and a quick stop to the MoDOT camera 32nd in range line in Joplin looks good as well. A little hard to see. Pretty sure it's a patch of water, but what's odd is it's been there like all morning long in the middle of the road, which is weird. But it does lead to something that I do want to discuss that is actually not weird and something we need to pay attention to. Obviously, our drought situation, not very good here lately. We are way behind on rain. We got a fair amount of rain. The problem is we got a lot of rain in a very short period. And if you've been driving around Joplin, I was, still standing water, curbs, streets, yards, and we have more rain on the way. So not only do we have a potential severe threat heading into Tuesday and Wednesday, we're also concerned about the potential for some flooding with additional rainfall on the way. As I said, we need it, but we're getting a little too much in too short a time. So we're going to have to pay attention to that as well. Our temperatures this morning, we're sitting at 59 in Joplin, 55 in Pittsburgh, and across the area. Again, a little cooler out west. Our cool spot is Veneta, also tied up with Stockton now. Both, not Veneta. Maybe it's not enough coffee. I'm not sure. 51 in Independence, Kansas. 51 in Stockton. A little warmer in Grove, sitting at 62. We're going to make it through this morning together. Today, though, if you walked out the door yesterday, I had to take some trash out yesterday morning. It was cold. I did not enjoy it, but we are now out anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees warmer right now than where we were 24 hours ago. Into tomorrow and Wednesday morning. This is the last into Wednesday morning. We do have a level 2 out of 5 risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Initially, tomorrow afternoon, somewhat more isolated, and then a complex of storms overnight, very early Wednesday morning, roughly 2 to 8 a.m. on Wednesday. As for today, though, that mix of clouds and sun, a bit on the breezy side and certainly on the warm side. Look at those numbers, upper 70s, low 80s. So that's how you know also something isn't quite right, again, with the weather, because we were pretty cool yesterday, and then we jumped like this, upper 70s, low 80s, south winds gusting to 35. All of those signs that Mother Nature's got something else in store for us, which we will break down for you in the full forecast in just a few more minutes. Switching to this morning's top stories, a shooting was reported yesterday afternoon in Humboldt. The victim was rushed to the Allen County Regional Hospital and later succumbed to his injuries. Now, according to the Allen County Sheriff's Office, an armed suspect was identified but fled the scene. The suspect was later located and taken into custody by the Kansas Highway Patrol. All additional information will come from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Community members in southeast Kansas came together yesterday to support a local mother facing a rare form of cancer. A dinner and silent auction was held to help Chelsea Smith and her family as she begins another round of treatment for LMS, a rare and aggressive cancer that forms in muscle tissue. Organizers say businesses, friends, and neighbors donated food, auction items, and their time to help the family as Chelsea prepares for treatment at Anderson Cancer Center in Houston.
No, I know she's very thankful and emotional about it. I'm just so thankful and not expecting it, but definitely appreciating all of the love and support that they have.
Organizers say the community response has been overwhelming, with people from across the region showing up to support Chelsea and her family as they face the road ahead. A proposed data center in a small rural community has sparked strong opposition. But when a tech company offered the local volunteer fire department a $250,000 donation, the fire chief had to decide whether the money was worth risking the trust of the community he served for decades.
At the end of Highway 97,
Come on, girls.
you'll find Charlie Pearson taking care of his cattle in the peace and quiet of the Rock community.
That's what all the people out here is fighting for.
That silence is in stark contrast to the raucous standing ovation he received after speaking out against the proposed data center.
This is not going to work. Not for us.
Pearson has lived in the community his whole life and been the fire chief of the Rock Volunteer Fire Department for 35 years.
We have 28 people on our fire department. We have 2 stations. We have 10 trucks. So we're quite large for a volunteer fire department.
One of his concerns about a data center on Highway 97 is the huge increase in traffic and potential for more accidents.
It's going to jeopardize the people that live out here.
And the chief drove home that concern to the city council.
As a volunteer firefighter, I've stood in the middle of that road and I've heard a mother cry and shout because her son or her daughter got killed in a car wreck.
On top of safety, there's the worry over what a data center would do to quality of life.
It's going to affect the quality of life. Anywhere you research, it says that it will.
Despite all this, Chief Pearson wants to make it clear that the department itself has no opinion on the issue and will carry out its duties no matter what.
Whatever comes down the pike, we're servants to the public. We will service whatever happens.
Well, something did happen recently that threw an interesting twist into this story. A potential curveball for the man who told the council that all of this is about money. And money
Money is the root of all evil.
which is easy to say until you're faced with a donation offer of $250,000.
I really think that data centers are a golden ticket for communities across America.
Chief Pearson says Kate Franco from Google called him with the offer for the fire department.
They said, we'd like to make a donation to you all for $250,000.
Money which the department could certainly put to good use. Could you use $250,000?
Absolutely.
It was a big decision that required deliberation.
I had to bring it before my board of directors. And we had to discuss this, about how we was going to handle this.
The department suddenly found itself between a rock and a hard place. Principles.
Our public has supported us, and everything you're looking behind me, they've allowed me to do.
A public which, like himself, had been fighting hard against the data center proposal to protect their way of life.
So for me to take their money, I felt like I was jeopardizing the public's support. And at the end of the day, they mean more to me than that does.
So the fire department, where no one gets paid,
100%. Nobody gets paid at this department. We're all volunteers.
ended up telling Google, thanks, but no thanks. Keep your money.
Not that we didn't want the money. Absolutely. It would have helped us a bunch. But if we lose that support.
Charlie Pearson, it turns out, already has a golden ticket. It's called the Community of Rock. And they, in turn, can rely on Charlie till the cows come home.
All I want to say is thank you to the people that has always supported us.
And that's a look at our top stories this half hour. Coming up next, no-bake German chocolate pie right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News here on Fox 14. We've got Lori Langley from Celebrations by Lori making this amazing no-bake German chocolate pie.
Easy peasy this morning. We are really trying to make something that everybody can do, something you can get the kids involved in. Like we mentioned, spring break's coming up fast,
Yes.
so this is something fun that you can kind of get everybody involved in. In our first segment, we talked about, we've got just a basic graham cracker crust here. You can make this from scratch or you can buy it from the store. No judgment there. I've got mixed together a cup and a half of whole milk, nice and cold. Kind of important that it starts out really nice and cold. And that is just starting to set up well, so I'm going to give that another little stir so that it's really nice and creamy. And then in my other bowl, I've got a 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. And that again is also nice and cold when we start with. And we mixed in with that a box of pudding as well. And I used a white chocolate. You could do this with vanilla, French vanilla, just something that's a kind of a neutral flavor with that.
I think white chocolate's a good one. You can't have enough chocolate.
Together. No. And we mix that together with the hand mixer, literally like a minute.
Okay.
And it's already very firm. This is basically a stabilized whipped cream. So it's going to have some really good flavor to it. And we're going to just mix those two things together very gently with the fold, as we like to do, so that we don't just destroy that. Although again, this is a pretty stable whipped cream, so it's not quite as delicate as some. But we're going to take that, we're going to mix it really, really well so we get a creamy, rich chocolate pudding filling for the bottom. This is going to be the base of our German chocolate. We don't need to add anything else to it. If you want to throw a little bit of coconut or some chocolate chips in there, you can.
Okay.
But obviously, if you look at our finished one here on the counter, we're going to have plenty of that on top.
Be very careful.
Yeah, be very careful with that. He's got a lot of sweetened condensed milk there. It's
Oh, yeah.
very rich.
It's moving a bit, but
Yeah.
I can do it like that. But see, doesn't that look good?
He's warming up from not being in the fridge right now, so it's good. It's a little sticky. We're going to get that well mixed, though. We don't want to have a lot of pieces of that white and chocolate showing together. So you can see as I start to mix this, it's coming together well.
Yeah.
We're getting it nice and creamy.
Smells really good, too.
Doesn't it, though? I know, I love it. Anything chocolate with a coconut, I am on board with that. Those are always going to catch my attention. So we're going to mix this. We're going to get this really well filled into our graham cracker crust. And this is just a normal size one as well. Nothing deep dish or anything crazy. It's going to fill it up completely, so get that full amount out of your bowl. You can see that is really going to give us a nice full pie. We want to make sure it's in all the crevices. Be kind of tidy if you can. And when we come back, we're going to make a topping for this. It's going to give us, as I said, that coconut, that pecan flavor, that really rich sticky topping.
You saw the topping there, so we're going to see how that comes down there. All right. Well, thank you, Lori. As she mentioned, we'll be right back with the finishing touches after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News here on Fox 14. Again, Lori Langley from Celebrations by Lori in the studio. We've been working on this, which I'm going to be very cautious.
Don't make a viral video out of this.
Well, yeah, it might become. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It
See,
might.
look. Oh, they're home. We're going to rotate. But doesn't that look good? That looks
So
amazing.
good.
So we're about, halfway to this.
We're a little further than halfway.
Okay,
to
a little
that
further.
now.
See, this is why I'm not a cook.
I'm telling you, we've got the base of the chocolate in there. You can see that it really fills up that pie shell nicely.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, you're going to pop this in the fridge. When you're making this at home, you go back, you grab that recipe on KOAMnewsnow.com. You're going to pop this in the fridge for a couple of hours before we go to the next step. But
Okay. But we don't have, we could wait a couple of hours, but I don't think you want to just watch us stand here and talk about, our
it's
favorite color for
exciting,
2
but no.
hours.
So we're going to make that topping, and we're just going to press on. And
That's
all
all
I've
right.
got in here is about a cup of coconut. I added a little bit of sweetened condensed milk to it ahead of time because I wanted to give it a little time to soak that up with some vanilla. So I'm going to add some pecans to that, about a half a cup. You can chop those really, really fine, or you can leave them a little rougher cut like I did. Totally your option. And I'm going to add some more sweetened condensed milk to it. It's about a half a can, all said and done. And this is, make sure again, you're getting the sweetened condensed milk, our little short can here, whatever your favorite brand is, not evaporated milk. Very different things. But we're just going to mix this together a little bit. You can use plain shredded coconut if you want to toast that a little bit. That is delicious because, again, we're not baking this. This isn't going in any more oven. So you can really do that either way, and it's great. So we're going to top this very carefully on our nice soft chocolate.
Yes, because remember, it should have sat there for a couple hours.
Should have set up just a little bit.
But see, it's still working. So, if you're like me and you forget these things or you're impatient, you can take a chance.
Absolutely. You can even do this the night before and put the topping on the next day. It just needs at least a couple hours. It can have more. We're going to get all of that really gooey topping out of there. And then we're going to take a little bit of an angled spatula just to make it a little less messy. and just press that out. You don't need to go all the way to the edges with this. In fact, it's going to be best if you don't, so that it makes it a little bit easier to cut. Because again, this is going to give you a gooiness. That evaporated milk is going to come through a little bit. You'll see some has kind of started to come around my edges.
That's why we had to be careful there, because I don't want to dump that everywhere.
Yeah, that's what we want it to do, because that's going to soak into your graham cracker crust.
Okay.
And really give you that yummy, rich flavor.
And it smells amazing.
So good, so coconutty and amazing. So tinker with that a little bit. You can even add some whipped cream on the edges, some chocolate chips on top, some extra whole pecans, a little bit more of that toasted coconut. Really go for broke on it, because this is not our healthy food. This is indulgence. This is rich.
And there's nothing wrong with indulging every so often. You've got to have something good and offset every so often.
Keep that in the fridge. Again, you can do it up the night before. It's going to travel well. The nice part, if you do that pre-made pie crust, that comes with a lid. So you can just pop that on there, stick that in the fridge, and it's ready to travel. This is so good for taking over to a neighbor. It's springtime. Let's get in touch with our neighbors and just reach out and take those little treats. It's a lovely little addition, a little welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's a very sweet welcome to the neighborhood. All right, Lori, thank you so much. And of course, as she mentioned earlier, you will find this recipe a little later this morning on our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:23 now on this Monday morning. I know it says Saturday, but that is because we went back to take a look at the storm reports from the Friday night and early Saturday storms, and unfortunately a number of them across the region. So these orange circles are wind damage reports. The green circles are wind gust reports. And then, of course, the red circles are pretty self-explanatory. Tornado reports, and the blue are hail reports. So you can track this back from where it started down just to the east of Oklahoma City. In fact, a long track supercell, ultimately going through the south side of Tulsa, and then eventually crossed into our area and continued off to the, this one actually ended up curving this direction. The other one that spawned a tornado prior to this one on the north side of Tulsa took that track off to the north and east across the area. As mentioned earlier, unfortunately, that's two tornadoes, one on the north side, one on the south side of Tulsa. The south side one, though, causing more damage, a couple of fatalities down in the Beggs area, and a lot of damage down in the Beggs area. Schools are closed for the week. A lot of damage to the middle school, just certainly an unpleasant and very serious situation from this weekend. As I mentioned, we did have some wind damage in our area. Did have some injuries in our area. Thankfully, we did not see that tornado risk. We saw the tornado warnings, yes, but we did not ultimately get any tornadoes out of those storms, which, again, was good for us. Unfortunately, severe weather season's really kicking off with a bang here. We're just getting a brief pause, and we've got another round of strong severe storms rolling in tomorrow. So today isn't looking too bad. We're warm and breezing. I mean, compared to yesterday, we were in the 60s. We started in the 30s. Today we're starting in the 60s, and we're looking at highs about 80 degrees across the area. And with those gusty south winds today, tonight, and tomorrow, you're going to know something's off. We've talked about this. It's that feeling for folks that especially have lived here long enough. You can walk out on days like this, and you just feel it. My 12-year-old noticed it on Friday morning. Like, he walked out the door, first thing he said was, something doesn't feel right. Something's not right. And so it's just one of those things. It doesn't take a lot of experience here in this area to know that Mother Nature's cooking something up, and unfortunately she is again. Now here's what we're looking at. Our severe threat tomorrow, it's still serious. We need to take it seriously, but the severity levels do not look to be as intense as what they were Friday night into Saturday morning, but all hazards are still possible. What we start with is Tuesday afternoon into the evening, the potential for some isolated supercells. Now, Friday, we had that potential for numerous supercells, and ultimately, that is what we started seeing. For Tuesday afternoon and evening, it's somewhat more isolated in terms of supercell development, but any storm that does manage to develop could intensify pretty quickly and will become severe pretty quickly with all hazards possible. But as you can see, it is a very isolated risk, but that risk is there. Now again, this future track, regrettably, runs out of data at midnight, and the only reason we're running this one is because I think it's got the closest call or the closest lineup for the expectation. So we get that supercell threat out of here, and then between about 2 and 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning, additional strong to severe thunderstorms push into the area from the south and west, and all hazards will be possible with those as well. So here's what we've got. It's a level 1 out of 5 risk across the region for an isolated tornado or two, with the greatest concern being with the supercells Tuesday afternoon and evening. Then we have a level 2 out of 5 for damaging wind and for the potential for large hail. So we got to pay very close attention to this. And I said it's going to be a couple of rounds. We get the supercells Tuesday afternoon and evening, and then a complex of storms between Wednesday 2 and 8 a.m. All right, as for today, though, we start with clear skies, a mix of clouds and sun through the morning and early afternoon near the 70-degree mark by 11. We're going upper 70s, low 80s today, tomorrow, and then we go into the upper 60s Tuesday night, same on Wednesday, because, again, from a record-keeping standpoint, we're going to have highs technically on Wednesday in the upper 60s, but it's going to happen about 2, 3 a.m. The cold front that's going to bring that complex of storms will push through. These start wrapping up in general by about noon. Temperatures falling through the day. So daytime temperatures in the afternoon only in the low 50s. A little colder Wednesday night, cooler on Thursday, and we'll warm back up into the weekend. Let's check your forecast. Back with more after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It is coming up now on 7:31. I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday, March the 9th. We are going to begin with a check of your forecast this morning and a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, where things are looking pretty good so far across the area. We've got clear skies to start the day. Our temperatures, again, anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. And of course, we're gonna end up showing you that again in a moment anyway. KDOT camera 69-400 looking good, and not a bad view there from the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line as we head on over to our current temperatures. Look at those numbers. 59 in Joplin, 55 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, again, a much warmer start than yesterday. We were in the 30s for a lot of us. We've got some cooler spots out there. Looks like right now it's back to Independence, tied with Sedan at 52 apiece. Grove still the warm spot, sitting at 62, and as I mentioned, putting our temperatures 20 to 30 degrees warmer now than where we were 24 hours ago. Now, we do have that alert day tomorrow, which will last into early Wednesday morning, as we have a level 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. But you really, again, need to bear in mind with these outlooks, they carry us into the next day, the first portion of the next day. So we have the threat tomorrow afternoon and evening. It's an isolated risk for some supercell storms starting about noon, continuing through the evening hours. Right now, data is not suggesting very many of them in our area, but the ones we do see could bring all hazards and could intensify pretty quickly. And then we get a complex of storms that's going to push in between about 2 and 8 a.m. tomorrow that could be strong to severe as well. On to the future track for today, again, a mix of clouds and sun, breezy conditions, and warm temperatures out there. How warm is it going to be? Well, as warm as you're seeing there. About 60 by 9, low 70s by noon. Our highs today, upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s in our southern counties. And then, yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's breezy. You'll know something's up. South winds 15 to 20, gusting to 30. We're going to break down our severe risk as we roll into tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday morning in the full forecast. And of course, that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. In this morning's top stories, the 2026 racing season is officially underway at Mocan Dragway. Mocan hosted a Fun Drags event over the weekend, welcoming drivers of all experience levels to hit the track. The event gave people the opportunity to bring their own vehicles out and experience drag racing in a safe, controlled environment. The day also included a teen championship racing licensing, a program that allows high school drivers to learn how to race and earn their license at the track.
My favorite part is right before we start the car, because it's quiet inside and nobody's bothering me. And I can just gather my thoughts, and then the engine fires, and then it's get ready to go. And then, of course, the burnout's fine, and of course, the speed is pretty addicting.
During the off-season, several upgrades were made at the track, including 500 feet of new concrete guard wall to improve safety for racers and spectators. Events at Mocan Dragway are scheduled nearly every weekend from March through November. And runners hit Old Route 66 yesterday for the Joplin Road Runners 5K and 12K, starting and finishing at the Route 66 Drive-In Theater. Participants competed for overall, age group, and age-graded prizes, plus plenty of clovers along the way. Vendors, finish line entertainment, and door prizes made the day even more fun.
I think the best piece of advice I could give, it's just to go ahead and do it, because right now is the youngest you'll ever be. So go ahead, try new stuff, it doesn't hurt to try.
Net proceeds from the race will benefit Crosslines Ministries and the Jasper County 4-H in Carthage. And the 4-State Record Show was held over the weekend at the Carthage Memorial Hall. 35 vendors from across the region were on hand offering cassettes, CDs, memorabilia, and even equipment to play your music. Attendees also enjoyed door prizes and giveaways, plus some posters and merch from the vendors. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Our very own Samantha Walker talking with Phyllis Bittner from the Miners Hall Museum Foundation about their upcoming event.
Well, welcome back. I'm joined today with Phyllis Bittner and Sarah Runyon, and we're here at the Miners Hall Museum. And I'm really excited because you guys have a pretty exciting event coming up. First of all, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. But can you tell us a little bit about, we get to step back in time a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the event you guys have coming up?
Yes. Next week, we're going to be celebrating the United States 250th celebration, and we'll be having an event this year. We changed it up a little bit. We've been having a night in New Orleans every year, and we decided to go east this year, and we're going to Philadelphia. So we're going to have a night in Philadelphia, which is the birthplace of freedom, and it's going to be an amazing event. We've already about half sold out of the tickets.
Oh, goodness.
And it's going to be a night that everyone will want to be sure that they are able to attend.
Well, a night in Philadelphia, can you tell us a little bit about, what that's going to look like as an event, what people can expect to see?
Okay. We want to surprise people with a lot of things. The decorations, of course, will be themed with 1776, the birth of the nation. We'll be having DAR and SAR will be joining us. Many of them will be in costume with that era of costuming, and they're going to be assisting us with a few things. We have a kind of a little surprise announcement that'll be coming out next week that they're going to be taking part in with us, the DAR and SAR. Pittsburgh area young professionals will be assisting us with the event. We'll be having a swing band, which are local musicians, and it's going to be amazing. We have people coming in costume from that era to be dancing to the swing music. We have a lot of little surprises throughout the night. There'll be a lot of giveaways and just a lot of things that people won't want to miss.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be so much fun. I know you said tickets are going pretty quickly. About how many spots do you guys have, open originally?
We usually plan for 200. They've told us we might be able to stretch that out a little bit. So since this year we're having it at Memorial Auditorium, so it'll be a wonderful facility. And but 200 right now is our max, and we'll squeeze in a few extra people if we have to. And if people would like to come and as a group and be seated at the same table, they please let us know that when they call in to get their tickets, and we'll be sure that they're seated with their group.
Perfect. And about how much are tickets?
Tickets are $40, and you can purchase them by calling the office, which is 620-347-4220, or our QR codes are everywhere. They're on Facebook and on our posters everywhere, and that's the easiest way. You just click on that QR code and purchase your tickets that way. And there are no physical tickets. We tell people, do not buy a ticket. If someone says, I have an extra ticket, you are just buying a reservation, and we'll take your name, and you'll be greeted at the door and seated.
Perfect. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great night to kind of, celebrate history.
It is.
Perfect.
And our announcement next week will be really, I think people want to look forward to that, of this will be really a big part of history.
They're not going to want to miss it, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Now, Sarah, we've just gotten to hear how exciting this event that the Miners Hall Museum is hosting is going to be, but I know the city of Pittsburgh is also kind of jumping on this history trend as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, Pittsburgh is turning 150 years old this year on May 20th. We were established in 1876, and it's really fun that this year also coincides with the United States 250th. So we have celebrations that are happening throughout the year, and we are incorporating Pittsburgh's history into a lot of different different elements throughout the year. So everything from what Phyllis and the folks at Miners Hall Museum are doing. Pittsburgh Area Young Professionals is also doing an amazing race this year that's going to be themed around Pittsburgh's history, so stay tuned for that. We also have celebrations scheduled for our Founders Day, which is May 20th. We will have 620 Day, which is our area code. So we'll have a celebration. We'll have a big celebration at 2nd and Broadway. And then on the 4th of July, we're going to have a parade in honor of the United States birthday. So
it sounds like so many things people aren't going to want to miss at all. Why was it so important for you guys to kind of really, honor not only American history, but also Pittsburgh's history this year?
Well, we really felt like it was important to celebrate our community and the people that have made our community what it is. Our history tells us where we've been, and that's important. And we're really excited that organizations like Miners Hall Museum, like Pittsburgh Area Young Professionals, and others are really jumping on board, and they're taking it to the next level. So we're not the only ones that are organizing fun events throughout the year. Other organizations and individuals, neighborhoods, and businesses are jumping on board, and they're also taking part in celebrating the milestone with us. So it's going to be really fun.
Amazing. Well, you guys always do such a great job of, showcasing some of the great things happening in the community. If people are hoping to find out maybe some of the things that the cities may be involved in, where should they look?
Well, we have a website. It's pittsburgh150.com, easy to find. And we will have all of our events for the year scheduled up there. We're hoping folks will also find us on social media. We have an Instagram and Facebook page.
We'll make sure to get that linked as well on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. But thank you so much, Sarah and Phyllis, for joining us. It sounds like they're going to be so much fun. I can't wait to get to learn a little bit more about Pittsburgh and Southeast Kansas's history.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. We'll be right back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:46 on this Monday morning, and we are going to start with the future track. Now today and to the first half of tomorrow, it's not too bad. We're warm, we are breezy. I'll have a few clouds here and there, and you can see them on the future track. We actually clear out briefly by late evening, and overnight clouds will begin to return, going partly cloudy and eventually becoming mostly cloudy as we head through the morning hours on our Tuesday. Now Tuesday, this is where it begins yet again, as we have an alert day for tomorrow. But that alert day is going to carry us into early Wednesday as well. It starts with things like that, similar to what we saw Friday. Now at this point, the intensity or the severity level on Friday is not as high as it, or for today, apologize, give me just a second. The intensity level and severity level for tomorrow afternoon into Wednesday morning is not as high as it was on Friday, but the threat is still there for all hazards with severe weather. It starts off again with initially fairly isolated and discrete supercell development possible as we get to the lunch hour and into the afternoon, early evening. But as you can see on future track at this point, the supercell storms are extraordinarily isolated, but the ones that we do see very likely intensify quickly and be capable of producing all severe hazards. So we have to watch each one of these that flare up. Now again, there may not be many, but the ones that we do get could get a bit on the intense side. Now this future track, which has a really good take on today into tomorrow and tomorrow night, does run out of data at about midnight, but looking longer range than that, what we're looking at is after that supercell threat wanes down, we get a cold front that's going to approach, and we'll get a complex of showers and thunderstorms along that will begin to push into our area from the south and west, and be between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. on Wednesday. We'll have another severe threat. All hazards are possible, but the greater concerns with this complex is going to be for very large hail and the damaging wind gusts across the area as well. Now we could get some showers and storms that linger beyond 8 a.m. In fact, some data suggests we may get some showers and storms through about noon on Wednesday, but the severe threat is going to be initial. It's going to be in the morning between that 2 and 8 window about. And then as the front begins to overtake the storms, the severity level will wind down and we'll be dealing with showers and storms until it all clears out. So tomorrow afternoon into Wednesday morning, we have a level 1 out of 5 on that tornado risk across the entire region. And then a level 2 out of 5 for the large hail and damaging wind potential out there. So we've got to keep an eye on all of it as we go through tomorrow afternoon, evening, and Wednesday morning as well. As for the rest of today, at least it's a pretty decent day out there. We're going to start in the upper 50s, so we're already about 20 to 30 degrees warmer this morning where we were yesterday, be near 70 by 11 a.m. Our highs today eventually into the upper 70s and into the low 80s in our southern counties, so very warm. South winds gusting to 35. Again, clear skies late afternoon and evening before clouds return overnight, still near 70 by 10 and only back in the low to mid 60s again tonight. South winds still gusting to 25. Our alert day tomorrow, again through Wednesday morning, upper 70s, low 80s, south winds again gusting to 30. Now, you see our Tuesday low and Wednesday high are the same because with that cold front and those storms, what will happen is early in the morning, probably about 2, 3 a.m., that's when we're going to reach our highs near 70 for Wednesday. So from a record-keeping standpoint, an almanac standpoint, that's what will be recorded as the high for Wednesday. But as that front passes through the morning, temperatures will begin to drop on the backside, and by the afternoon, we're looking at daytime temperatures only about the low to mid 50s out there. Eventually back down the mid 30s overnight, about 60 on Thursday, another warm up into the weekend, and maybe another cool down next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this. Well, it's Oscars week. The 98th Academy Awards are this coming Sunday. David Daniel looks at a current Oscars trend and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
This world is intricately stitched together, boys. Every thread we pull, we know not how it affects the design of things.
The Academy Awards have gotten more international in recent years. One of Train Dream's 4 nominations is for its Brazilian cinematographer, Adolfo Veloso. Meanwhile, Brazil's The Secret Agent also has 4 nominations, including Best Picture and Best International Feature, an award won last year by another Brazilian film, I'm Still Here.
In this moment we're living, I feel like it's amazing to represent not only Brazil, but Latin America, to represent all the immigrants in a very delicate moment. And I feel like this only shows how people all over the world are amazing, and we should be hearing everybody, and we should be paying attention to all those voices.
Of course, it was our friendship. Hillel had the key that made Flea and Anthony sound the best they could be.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers' first guitarist, Hillel Slovak, gets his due in The Rise of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Our Brother Hillel. The documentary looks at how a childhood friend helped shape the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer's sound. The film debuts March 20th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And the first Oscar-winning film to come from Brazil was 2024's film, I'm Still Here, a biographical drama about a family struggle during Brazil's military dictatorship in the 1970s. Stick with us. Another look at your forecast. Wake Up Recap right after this. This is your Wake Up Recap for March 9th. Top stories to start your day. A shooting was reported yesterday afternoon in Humboldt. The victim was rushed to the Allen County Regional Hospital and later succumbed to his injuries. According to the Allen County Sheriff's Office, an armed suspect was identified but fled the scene. The suspect, however, has now been located and was taken into custody by Kansas Highway Patrol. Any additional information expected to come from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. And that is a look at today's Wake Up Recap. And a final look at your forecast. Again, warm and breezy today. Upper 70s, maybe some low 80s. Mix of clouds and sun. South winds gusting to 35. Clear skies in the evening, still near 70 by 10 o'clock. Overnight lows low to mid 60s. Partly cloudy skies. Winds still out of the south gusting to 25. Warm and breezy tomorrow. South winds gusting to 30. An alert day in place tomorrow. Upper 70s, low 80s into the afternoon. Starting about noon through the evening. Isolated supercells, not many of them, but the ones we see could intensify quickly with all hazards possible. And then between about 2 and 8 a.m. on Wednesday, another round of storms, some strong to severe, again with all hazards possible, will track through. Early highs, I'm talking 2, 3 a.m. highs near 70, but with that front pushing through by the afternoon, we're only looking about the low to mid 50s out there. Cooler tomorrow, Wednesday night, a little cooler on Thursday as well. Warm up again into the weekend, more additional cool weather later. So again, tomorrow into Wednesday morning, need to stay weather aware once again with that alert day in place. Well, late John F. Kennedy Jr.'s name has been back in the news lately. That's because of a new Hulu series titled Love Story, which chronicled JFK Jr.'s life and his relationships, including his marriage to the late Carolyn Bessette. Both Kennedy and Bessette were killed in a plane crash in 1999. A bar in Washington, D.C. hosted a competition on Sunday to find the person who most resembled Kennedy. Event organizers say the new TV series inspired the idea, and they say other look-alike contests took place across the country. That's it for now. Blake Gully, meteorologist Donald O'Keefe with you at noon. We'll be back tomorrow.